welcome everyone. Thank you guys so much for waiting. I apologize about the wait. Hopefully everyone can hear me perfectly fine. Let me make sure that everything on my side is okay as well. Let's see. Okay, everything sounds good. Audio sounds good. All right. Okay, welcome guys. Welcome. So as you guys can see in the title, I put the title of this video, this live stream, as "Is the market bottom in?" And I'm seeing that everywhere. So, you know, a lot of people are looking at yields right now, right? And if you guys know me, I'm always looking at the index yields, right? Excuse me, not index yields. I'm looking at the ticker symbol TNX. Okay, okay. So this is the 10-year Treasury note, and TNX here is pretty overextended. And if you go on the weekly time frame, there's a lot more room for it to go down. Now, I'm not going to expect just a full-on, complete pullback. You're just going to keep on going down and down and down. I'm just going to expect TNX to at least come back down to around 3.45, 3.50, and have a little bit of a bounce. But yes, the yields are pulling back. Okay, that's definitely happening for sure. And that's allowed the overall markets to bounce today, as the dollar also cooled as well. So if you take a look at the DXY, right, the dollar index here, in the weekly time frame, it's very, very extended. Or if you take a look at the RSI, we are in overbought territory. If you go on even on the 1 month time frame, we're in very overbought territory, right? So I expect a nice pullback in the month, okay? And as we're heading into October, I expect further continuation of a pullback on the dollar. And I expect to see a lot more volatility as we saw in the past here back in 2015. Okay, I remember back in the day in the news, people were saying, "Oh my God, the dollar's rising," right? And people are saying this is good, people are saying this is bad. We're seeing the same type of news cycle again, except we're in a very different market and economic environment, right? And the dollar rising is not good for foreigners, right? For trade, exports and imports, right? And of that sort. And just overall not good for equity, right? But if you guys want to know more and learn more in detail how the dollar is really affecting our economy and the markets, make sure you guys subscribe to the CFO Swing Watch. Now, with DXY here, I expect it to fall back down to at least 108. Okay, we are still a ways from the high of 2000 and 2001. Right, the aftermath of the 2000, the dot-com crash, right, the dot-com bubble, and we saw that huge effect of that happening, and the dollar just crashed from that peak of 121.2, right, 0.02, and I'm not sure that we can get back to these highs. That would be pretty amazing if we do, and that will also permit the indexes, the market indexes, to pull back even more. And if that happens, then we'll for sure erase 2021 gains and possibly start heading into and diving into 2020 highs that we made into the turn of 2021. So if DXY continues to move up higher here, that's definitely going to happen. Okay, so keep that in mind as we talk about SPY and SPY futures here. So if we go back in the daily time frame, we just turned positive, okay? I believe when I turn on the live stream right now, we're in the red a little bit, and that's fine. We're supposed to see a little bit of pullback, and that's what I told my CFO Swing Watch members today before the market ended, that I'm going to expect a pullback either near the end of the day or tomorrow, and that tomorrow could be overnight, right? As we head into the early morning here. So, with SPY futures here, we're holding this 37, I would say around 3725 to 37 to 0. Okay, this broad area is now being used as a level of support, which is good because we go deeper onto the intraday time frames. We're making a nice flag. And as we're allowing the price to kind of consolidate within this area and starting to bounce specifically at this 3.723-ish level, okay, I'm going to expect to see more consolidation, as it will allow the 10 and 21 SMAs on the 2-hour time frame to actually catch up to the price and support the price higher, right? And here's another thing, okay? We're also looking at a broadening wedge, okay? And this broadening wedge is very, very important because a broadening wedge can happen as a market bottom, right? As a market is basically bottoming, right? So, whenever I see, these broadening wedges happening at the bottom of a downtrend, it gets me excited because this could mean that there is a reversal that's about to happen. Because as you guys already know, a broadening wedge or a megaphone chart pattern, because well, it looks like a megaphone. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, check out the emoji for a megaphone. And they usually permit a 2 different types of breakouts. One to the upside, where it breaks above this ascending or rising resistance trend line to the upside, right? Or a break below this descending level of support or trend line to the downside, okay? But for right now, I love the fact that we are staying above and near this top range of this broadening wedge here, or megaphone chart pattern. So if we're able to completely just break out of this intraday flag overnight, we should see a small gap up tomorrow. However, I would ideally not want it to break out overnight, because I want it to actually happen when the markets are officially open, right? And equities start trading publicly. So, well, not publicly, they're already public. So with the SPY futures here, I would say the most ideal situation is that we stay underneath, I would say at least 3750, or the high that we made of 3751.25. Okay, so you guys can see it on this candlestick here, right? 3751.25. So I want us to stay below this high before we open. Okay, that's crucial so that we can actually have a nice market move up higher when the market is actually open. Now, how does this translate to SPY? So if we go back on the daily time frame, right, we had a nice, amazing bounce, and we had volume-backed bounce as well. Today, the volume was 110 million or 111 million if you round up. And compared to the last 3 days, right, obviously the volume today is a little bit smaller compared to last week, for example, on Friday, right? But I'm comparing 2 candlesticks where we saw a bunch of sellers come in at the morning and a bunch of buyers coming in later in the day, right? Which allowed us to see a bigger pop in volume compared to today, right? So there's not much to do in comparing volumes. All we have to do is realize that this new week we have a surge in buying volume, right? So this is different, right? We're seeing a lot of buying coming in, and it's a lot more than the buying that came in the previous pops in buying that we saw, for example, right here, right, on September 16th, right? We had volume of 103 million, but we didn't see a continuation to the upside, did we? Or a reversal to the upside. So this is pretty significant today. And for the fact that we're using, okay, this 362.50 to around 370.50 range just tells us that, okay, buyers are stepping in here. Now, do they have enough strength and do they have enough buying power to allow us to start reversing upwards, right? Because we're at this critical line in the sand line or area that I've been talking about for months, right? Since back in July. So, or late June actually. And, it seems like we're making a nice double bottom bounce. Like I said to my Save Stream Watch members this week that, actually let me just flip it like this. There we go, right? That I want to see at least either this week or even next week that I want to see a nice green weekly candlestick. And it seems like this week is going to give us that, right? And the market was kind of barely affected by what Jerome Powell was saying yesterday and today. I believe yesterday he was talking about cryptocurrencies, and today, well, I didn't really check the topic what he was talking about, but overall, it didn't really change how the market was moving for this first half of this week. So with the latter half of this week coming up tomorrow, I expect us to continue. This is a very, very good inverse candlestick, right? This is indicating that we could see a nice reversal, right? It's a hammer candlestick. So if we're able to end up at the highs of this weekly candlestick that we made so far, which is 372.30, we should be good to continue to next week, right, to the upside. So we have a clear trend to the upside. And if you go back to the 2-hour time frame here now, now that we know what's going on in the daily time frame and the weekly time frame, we have this gap fill that we need to absolutely fill. And today we kind of went over 50%, I would say, of this fill so far. So in order to completely fill in the gap here, I would say we need to break above 374, right? And that will be the objective for SPY tomorrow, for us to retest 374 and stay above 374 and then close above 374. Now, I love the fact that we just went straight up today. However, whenever we go straight up like this, okay, there's a good chance that we see a very, very strong pullback. Okay, so that's the reason why I love the fact that ES is staying relatively stable and we're using previous levels of resistances, for example, this resistance, the 3723, okay, as a level of support. And I want to see the same thing happening on SPY tomorrow. So if we're able to use 370.50 as a level of support, then we should be able to fill in the gap that we made between last Thursday candlestick and last Friday's candlestick, right in between those two candlesticks, so that we are able to retest 374 and we're able to stay above 374 as well. Okay, so you know, I just want this bullishness to continue so that when we are able to reject from a major level of resistance, so for example, okay, at the very least I want us to come back above to 385.50 on a short-term reversal, right? And if we do start to reject at 385, then we'll be ready with the shorts, okay? And with those shorts, we can use the profits that we made from that movement to the upside, right? We can transfer our profits into more profits into a short. Does that make sense? Right? So the more confirmation of a trend, the better it is for us, right? So we can be sure of where to put our money on names that are looking ready to reverse higher. Does that make sense, everyone? Dollar Bill, you said pull back to 368 maybe. Yeah. So you know, if we if we do decide to have a low tiny pullback tomorrow, right? And that's fine. That's fine. We should be able to see at least a bounce around 368. Yes. So that should be a great area to see a pullback, right? I did tell my Silver Stream Watch members that as well, around 367.50 or around 368 today when the market was live. But we didn't get that at the end of the day, which is fine. I said it was near the end of the day or maybe tomorrow, and it seems like it'll be tomorrow that we may just get that, right? And that will be a great bounce to take opportunity and go on a long entry, right? You can swing it, or you can just have a nice scalp that lasts for a couple of minutes, right? And when I say couple of minutes, usually my own scalps, they sometimes last 15 minutes, even 30 minutes, right? And that's fine, right? People might not consider that as a scalp, right? Because they're only looking for like a minute or even less than a minute scalps, but that's still considered an intraday scalp, right? Anything that you do where you buy and then you sell within the same day and within a short period of time is a scalp, right? So 15 to 30 minutes is still a very, very short period of time when the market is open. So make sure you guys know your levels, right? We need to stay above 370.50 tomorrow, so make sure you guys are paying attention to this level. And if we're able to break above and stay above this 370.50 level, like we did today when we ended 3 cents above it, we should be able to continue to 100% fill in the gap that we made between Thursday and Friday's candlesticks from last week. And ultimately, I want us to close above 374 so that we're able to continue up higher and possibly hit maximum profit target of 385.50. Now, there is going to be intraday levels of resistances just like here at 382. Right? So this one is probably most likely not going to be a very significant level of resistance on a daily time frame. Yep. So this is exactly what I'm seeing here, right? So 382 is a intraday level of resistance. So let's make sure you guys take a look at that as well. If we decide to stay above 374 and we continue to push up higher, break above 377 as shown here, and eventually reach 382 where we will definitely see some sort of resistance, right? And this can happen even within this week, right? As we're taking out all the shorts that are, possibly still in at the break of this ascending support trend line. So around 390, okay? So if people start to panic as we're basically erasing, at least half of the gains that the shorts have made on this downside move, they will start to close positions, which is essentially going to lead to a short squeeze as more buyers are coming in and as more shorts are closing their positions, right? So I expect us to have a maximum profit target of 385.50 if we're able to stay above and break above 382 on this intraday level of resistance. And once that happens, I expect to see a nice rejection at 385.50 so that we can see some shorts in our play, right, in our horizon. All right, so those are your levels. Make sure you guys rewatch this live stream if you guys are just coming in right now. Thank you guys for 2 likes. I know it's late, but thank you guys for tuning in and staying here to watch. But yeah, so basically that is my consensus and analysis on what the market should be doing for this entire rest of this week and into next week as well, if we do continue to see an upside movement and we close bullishly. All right, so I think the market bottom could be in right now on a short-term perspective. Okay, so there's a little asterisk right there, right? On a short-term perspective, the market bottom may be in. Does that make sense? Right? And, I don't think longer term the market bottom is in because, sure, okay, the expectations for higher rates are going lower from the Fed, right? So that's good for the overall markets in the long term. But we still have to worry about the upcoming few FOMC meetings that are left for this year, which are 2. And they could still be hiking interest rates by 75 BP or maybe 100 BP or 1 whole percentage point, right? And that's still a possibility if we continue to see worsening CPI data, okay? So, long term, I still think that we're still not out of the woods just yet. All right, so hopefully you guys understood that, and hopefully this helps you guys to have an absolutely amazing trading day tomorrow and into Friday, and hopefully even helps the perspective onto the next week as well. All right, so that's it for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow as well at the same time, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you guys so much for liking this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this video. If you guys are watching it now, make sure you guys check out the recording, which will be posted right after the live stream is over. Okay, I start speaking around the 2 to 3 minute mark, so make sure you guys check it out. All right, good luck tomorrow. Okay, and always remember, work hard and trade smart. Thank you all for listening and have a good night.